So with frequency tables, just like we talked about, we're looking at how often something happens. There's some things that I see kids forget a lot when we look at frequency tables. The number one thing I see left off is a title. So if I say the title is a big one, or if you get a table with a bunch of numbers and it says, what would be an appropriate title for this? How many of you play sports? Okay, a whole bunch, all right? Do you practice your sport?
Yes.
So I could do for a title, number of practices a week. And I'm running low on room. If I want to do a frequency table, first I'm going to get all my data. Let's see. I don't know how many kids I'm going to ask. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Because I saw a lot of hands. I had fewer volunteers. I'm not going to fill this all up. Raise your hand if you play a sport and practice. How many times do you practice a week, Teddy?
About 3 times.
Catherine.
About 4 to 5.
Which?
So 4.
All right. Ezra.
Every day.
7 days a week. You have a team practice at 7 days a week. How many times do you practice with your team, your coach? Thank you. Yes, Caden. 4. Connor.
4.
Elliot.
1.
Max.
5.
Yes.
5. 1.
Yes.
3.
Do you see what I'm doing? AJ.
4.
Y'all are busy. Zoe.
2.
Now I know why y'all don't do your homework. Wolfie.
Twice.
Yes.
Once.
I'm running out. One more. Miles.
Twice.
Okay. Do you see what I just did? I have a data table. Is it organized? No, it's just a bunch of numbers mixed together. Could I make a frequency table and categorize it by the number of practices per week? Yeah. Would that be really hard? Nah. Make a big T-chart. We're going to put a title because otherwise it's just a bunch of numbers that mean nothing. Number of practices a week. And what do you think would be the logical first option here?
1.
Uh-huh. And then 2, 3, 4, 5. Did we go over 5? No. So now could I count the number of ones and make some tally marks on my frequency table? I'm going to cross and count because the number 2 thing I see people do wrong is you look at it and say, oh yeah, there's just 2 ones. How many ones do you see there?
4.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you cross and count and you get to the end and one of your boxes isn't crossed off, that means you missed it. And you can add it to that row and not have the wrong numbers. For 2, how many 2s do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Does this look hard?
No.
How many 3s do we have? 1, 2. How many 4s do we have?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah. If I put 3 here, okay, and then I've got my 5 here, and I get to the end and see, uh-oh, I've got an extra 4. Is it pretty easy to go correct my mistake?
Yes.
These are really sad to get wrong because you're counting usually up to 5 or 6 on all of these. If you cross and count on these data tables, you won't ever miss them. Also, I have some kids that scribble out the number until they're black just cross it one time because you may miscount something and then your question doesn't seem right. And you have to go back and see where you may have miscounted or forgot to cross the box off. Does that make sense? Give me a thumbs up if you're like, oh, I know what a frequency table is and we don't have to spend any more time on it. Yay! The next thing we're going to talk about really fast, and then we're going to do quizzes so I can see what you already know already, which I know is a lot, are bar graphs. Everyone's favorite. Bar graphs are going to have two axes. This is your new stuff. You are going to have a title of some sort. And you're going to have labels on the X and Y axis. Which one is the X axis? The vertical or the horizontal? Horizontal. And the Y axis is the vertical. Good. Which one of these is going to have numbers on them? Kids that have done bar graphs before? Hudson? Huh? The Y. Good. The X is where you're going to label what the bars are. The Y are going to have some numbers. Okay? This is something new. You're going to have something called a scale. This is a new word, but if you think about it, if I want to show data on my table and I have numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What am I counting by here on the y-axis? Ones. My scale is going to be +1 because I'm counting by ones. If I did a survey of everybody in the whole school, would I want to make a bar graph that counted by ones? No. If I do a survey of the 900 plus kids in our school, wouldn't I want to count by 25s or 50s? Yes. Your scale is what you're counting by. So when you get a data set and it said what scale would be appropriate, if you've got numbers up to the 300s, you don't want to count by ones. Do you understand? So this is your X. This is still your Y, okay? Your scale is going to be shown on the right. So let's say I wanted to make a quick data table just like I did before. And I'm going to say apples, bananas, grapes, and kiwi. So, I'm going to do a quick data table with you guys. Fix my lines here. What do you think I might call this before I ask you any questions, very smart fifth graders? Caden, what would I maybe title this graph as before? Okay, what do you think I'm about to ask you right now? Favorite fruits. So my title is going to be favorite fruits. Very important you have a title. Raise your hand if you want to go for apples. Raise your hand if apples are your favorite fruit, like the Honey Crisp ones, the really good ones. Ooh, yeah, those are amazing. Put your hands up high, no T-Rex. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Am I doing tally marks?
No.
Am I still doing a frequency table? This is the one I prefer to do, if at all. Bananas. Raise your hand for bananas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Grapes. Hold on. 1, 2, 3. Hold on. Different people decided to vote. Put your hand up high for grapes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got lots of grape fans. Okay, guys. 5, 4. One more. Kiwi. If you want to vote for kiwi, hold them up high Interesting. Kiwi was my winner the last time. 3. Could I do bars
Yeah.
and still show all my data on the table? What would I label my x-axis?
Like fruit.
Zoe?
The different types of fruits.
Types of fruit. That works. Am I also going to have to do something to label my bars? Yes. Because then you won't know what bar goes what. I'm going to just put A, B, G, and K because I don't have a lot of room. What label would I have for the y-axis? What would be an appropriate label for the y-axis? This is what your questions for 5th grade look like. It's not how many apples are there on the bar. Isaac, what do you think?
Number of votes.
Number of votes, or those votes represent what?
Number of favorites.
Nope.
Favorite fruits.
No. Favorite fruits is our title. Type of fruit is the bottom. Isaac was the closest with number of votes, but each vote represents what, Brooke? Yes, thank you. That's what I was looking for. So this is my Y, and I would call it number of students. Because this very fast, quick poll I just did that took a lot of time and effort, right?
Yeah.
Just took a quick poll of all the students in my class. And then I'm just drawing some bars. I will tell you right now, some 5th graders stick all the bars together so they're touching. That's called a histogram. Don't do that. It's a different type of graph. So I'm going to go up to the 5 for apples. I'm going to go up to the 7 for bananas, leaving room in between my bars. I'm going to go all the way up to 9 because grapes are a favorite. And then kiwis, we're going to stay at 3. So